Good morning, distinguished delegates. Good morning, foreign governors of central banks of ECOWAS countries. We want to call this meeting to order. So please, those who are standing, can we take our seats, please? I'm going to be the master of ceremonies for this morning's so I'd like to start the program, and I will call distinguished chairman of the various committees of governors, various institutions to the high table. In that light, I would like to start with the chairman committee of governors for WAMI, which is the deputy governor of the Central Bank of Guinea. Please, I invite him to the high table, please. Distinguished recognized ECOWAS host governor of the Bank of the United States. I think for one, I'm sorry. West Africa. And therefore we are going to have, that's why we have the challenge for WAMI, welfare, so this is a joint. So in order not to waste, to invite the host governor, members of the technical committee, representatives of ECOWAS Commission, Director Generals, WAMI, YFM, Secretary General WABA. Good morning.
messieurs les directeurs généraux de l'IMAO, de l'AMAO, de l'OAFM, monsieur le représentant des institutions régionales IMAO, APAO, honorables invités, mesdames et messieurs. C'est une profonde gratitude et une grande émotion que je prends la parole ce matin au nom de Dr Karamo Kaba, gouverneur de la Banque centrale de la République de Guinée, le président du comité des gouverneurs, pour vous adresser cette allocution, son allocution. Je voudrais présenter aux honorables gouverneurs ici présents toutes les excuses de Dr Karamo Kaba, gouverneur de la Banque centrale de la République de Guinée, de n'avoir pas pu participer à cette importante cérémonie pour des raisons indépendantes de sa volonté. Je me charge de transmettre à ce homologue gouverneur tous ces remerciements et tout l'engagement, son engagement à lui et l'engagement de la Banque centrale de la République de Guinée à participer pleinement aux idéaux de la coopération et de l'intégration ouest-africaine. Ensuite, permettez-moi, honorable gouverneur, d'exprimer la reconnaissance de Dr Karamo Kaba au gouvernement et au peuple sierra-léonais, sous la direction éclairée de son Excellence Dr Julius Mahamadou, président de la République de la Sierra Leone, pour leur hospitalité légendaire et les excellentes facilités mises à la disposition des différentes délégations ici présentes. Je tiens tout particulièrement à remercier chaleureusement le gouverneur Ibrahim Stevens de la Banque de Sierra Leone, son personnel, le peuple sierra-léonais, pour la qualité de l'accueil depuis la frontière guinéo-sierra-léonaise. J'adresse enfin mes vifs remerciements aux directeurs généraux de l'IMAO et du OAFM, ainsi qu'à leurs personnels respectifs, pour leurs efforts inestimables dans l'accomplissement des missions assignées à leurs institutions respectives. En ce moment solennel, j'adresse mes félicitations au nouveau président du comité des gouverneurs, qui sera élu tout à l'heure, et lui souhaite un mandat couronné de succès, tout en réitérant l'engagement sans faille de la Banque centrale de la République de Guinée à ses côtés. Honorable gouverneur, l'année 2025 s'annonce dans un contexte international marqué par de nouvelles dynamiques en ce qui concerne l'accentuation des tensions géopolitiques et la bipolarisation de l'économie mondiale, en particulier sur le plan commercial et budgétaire, rendant la croissance mondiale hétérogène et incertaine. Ainsi, bien que morose, la croissance mondiale devrait rester stable à 3,3% en 2025 et en 2026, selon les dernières estimations du Fonds monétaire international. Dans cet environnement, la désinflation mondiale se poursuit avec des signes d'assouplissement, d'essoufflement dans certains grands pays industriels. L'inflation devrait ralentir à 4,2% en 2025, puis à 3,5% en 2026. La croissance en Afrique subsaharienne devrait se maintenir à se redresserait à 4,2% en 2025 et en 2026, grâce à la résorption des déséquilibres intérieurs et extérieurs, principalement sous l'effet des ajustements des politiques économiques de la plupart des pays de la région. Dans ce contexte complexe, notre zone monétaire affiche une légère reprise économique avec une croissance de 3,8% à fin juin 2024. Cette embellie repose principalement sur la bonne dynamique des secteurs agricoles et industriels. L'instabilité monétaire et les inefficacités structurelles continuent d'exercer une pression sur les économies de la zone. Sur le plan budgétaire, les efforts d'assainissement ont permis de réduire le déficit budgétaire à 3,7% en juin 2024, bien que le ratio de la dette publique ait progressé à 54,6% du PIB à fin juin 2024. Au niveau monétaire, les banques centrales de la zone ont intensifié leur politique monétaire pour atténuer les pressions inflationnistes, entraînant ainsi une concentration de la masse monétaire à 12,5% à fin juin 2024, contre une hausse de 24,4% à la même période de l'année précédente. Par contre, le secteur extérieur a connu une amélioration avec les excédents du solde global de la balance des paiements pour plusieurs États membres de la zone. Malgré des défis économiques persistants, le secteur financier demeure solide grâce à des mesures efficaces de supervision et de renforcement de la réglementation dans le secteur. Cependant, les risques liés à l'inflation persistante, aux tensions géopolitiques et à la hausse des prix des matières premières pourraient compromettre la stabilité économique et les efforts budgétaires de la zone. Honorable gouverneur, distingués invités, malgré les turbulences internationales, l'économie guinéenne dans ce contexte a montré une résilience remarquable, avec une croissance de 6,1% en 2024, soit à peu près plus de la moyenne des pays membres de la CEDEAO. Cette performance est portée par le secteur secondaire. Le taux de croissance économique devrait s'accélérer pour s'établir à 7,1% en 2025 et à 11,1% en 2026. Grâce notamment au développement des infrastructures du gigantesque projet Ciment. L'inflation au niveau national a significativement décéléré, atteignant 3,1% en décembre 2024 contre 6,5% un an auparavant, grâce à une politique monétaire prudente combinée avec d'autres facteurs tels que l'appréciation de la monnaie guinéenne, l'une des plus performantes de la CEDEAO, l'amélioration des infrastructures routières et la bonne tenue de la campagne agricole. Les finances publiques restent maîtrisées, tandis que les exportations, notamment minières, poursuivent leur dynamique positive. Toutefois, des risques majeurs subsistent, liés aux tensions géopolitiques, aux pressions inflationnistes persistantes et à la volatilité des marchés financiers. Ces mesures pourraient compromettre nos efforts de convergence macroéconomique. Face à ces défis, la Banque centrale de la République de Guinée poursuivra ses efforts pour consolider les acquis en matière de stabilité des prix et renforcer la résilience du secteur financier. Nous sommes également déterminés à nous allier sur le nouveau cadre de politique monétaire axé sur le ciblage de l'inflation avec l'appui technique des autres pays membres de la ZMAO et du Fonds monétaire international. Honorable gouverneur, distingués invités, en pareille circonstance, la tradition voudrait que je me fasse le devoir, au nom de Dr Karamo Kaba, président du comité des gouverneurs, d'esquisser certaines des réalisations au cours des 6 derniers mois de l'année 2024, sous les auspices du directeur général de l'IMAO. À ce titre, sous la présidence de Dr Karamo Kaba, plusieurs avancées notables ont été réalisées, notamment l'achèvement de la phase 2 du programme d'intégration des marchés de capitaux en Afrique de l'Ouest, soit MIL phase 2, la progression de la phase 1 du projet de développement des marchés de la dette intérieure dans la ZMAO, les progrès dans l'exécution du projet d'identifiant bancaire unique et la réalisation de l'étude sur l'impact du développement des infrastructures sur les échanges intra-zones. En dépit de ces résultats, des défis majeurs subsistent pour garantir une convergence macroéconomique durable dans la zone. Selon la dernière évaluation de l'IMAO, aucun État membre n'a respecté les 4 critères de convergence de premier rang à fin juin 2024, en raison notamment des difficultés liées à l'inflation et au déficit budgétaire. L'expansion budgétaire continue de peser sur l'efficacité de la politique monétaire, rendant complexe la réalisation des objectifs macroéconomiques. Par ailleurs, des défis structurels persistent dans le cadre du développement du marché de la dette intérieure et du programme d'intégration des marchés de capitaux. Ces obstacles incluent des inégalités dans le développement des marchés financiers au sein de la zone, l'absence d'une plateforme commune de partage des données et d'évaluation des entreprises cotées, ainsi que des restrictions à la mobilité des capitaux qui limitent les échanges transfrontaliers des titres. Néanmoins, la Banque centrale de la République de Guinée reste convaincue qu'avec une meilleure coordination des politiques monétaires et budgétaires, une gestion rigoureuse des finances publiques et un climat sociopolitique apaisé, nous, la zone monétaire de l'Afrique de l'Ouest, pourrons relever ces défis afin d'accélérer le processus d'intégration économique et monétaire de notre zone. Avant de conclure, honorable gouverneur, je tiens à renouveler, au nom du président du comité des gouverneurs, tous nos sincères remerciements aux autorités de la Sierra Leone, plus particulièrement au gouverneur de la Banque centrale de Sierra Leone, au peuple sierra-léonais, aux différents directeurs généraux de l'IMAO et de FOIFER, à leur équipe pour leur organisation exemplaire, ainsi qu'à nos différents partenaires régionaux pour leur accompagnement constant. C'est avec confiance que la Banque centrale de la République de Guinée, Dr Karamo Kaba, président du comité des gouverneurs, passe ou passera le flambeau tout à l'heure, convaincu que notre zone, la ZMAO, saura relever les défis à venir pour une intégration monétaire réussie en Afrique de l'Ouest. Sur ce, je vous remercie pour votre aimable attention.
Thank you very much, Deputy Governor, Central Bank of the Republic of Guinea. Deputy Governor, after thanking the civilian authorities and the DGs of Rama, Welfare, and Rami, we welcome the new chairman and assure them of Guinea's support during their tenure of office. It was quick to remind us that 2025 is going to be a challenging year due to geopolitical tensions, but also geo-economic fragmentation, which we are experiencing over the place. Sub-Saharan Africa is growing, but very slowly. For Guinea, they are making efforts to control inflation and reduce bank financing. The economy remains very resilient, very strong growth of 6.4%, very impressive. Inflation is coming down to single digits, and the ECRG is welcome with the new monetary policy that implementing. Under their chairmanship, they have achieved capital market integration in ECOWAS, especially phase 1, but also payment system infrastructure is being developed in the region. However, challenges, no member country meets all the convergence criteria. That's mainly due to inflation, which has been very elusive. There's a problem of high debt in the future. But we believe that the coordination of fiscal and monetary policies will help in resolving these issues. Thank you very much, Deputy Governor. I think he deserves another round. Thank you very much. Our next speaker is going to be an address from the chairman of the Committee of Governors of the Central Banks of ECOWAS member states. This is now all ECOWAS member states. That's the Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria.
President of the ECOWAS Commission, distinguished governors of ECOWAS member central banks, heads of regional institutions, Director General of WAMA, Director General of WAMI, Director General of WIFEM, President of the West African Economic and Monetary Union, Secretary General of WABA, representatives of international institutions, representatives of central banks, ministries, departments, and agencies, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen. I wish to begin by expressing, on behalf of my colleagues, the governors of the central banks of ECOWAS member states, our profound appreciation to Dr. Ibrahim L. Stevens, Governor of the Bank of Sierra Leone, as well as the management and staff of the bank, the Ministry of Finance, and other relevant government ministries, departments, and agencies for accepting to host these meetings. The incredibly warm welcome and hospitality extended to the various delegates attending this significant gathering has been truly remarkable. Please, let's give them a big round of applause. I must also acknowledge the dedication of the President of the ECOWAS Commission, who has shown commitment to steering ECOWAS in the right direction, despite difficult circumstances. I congratulate Mr. Boima S. Kamara on his appointment as Director General of the West African Monetary Agency, WAMA. It is worth noting that the DG is the first Liberian to hold this esteemed position in almost 30 years of its creation. His appointment comes at a pivotal moment as we advance the ECOWAS roadmap for the launch of the single currency. His expertise and leadership will be key to driving our shared vision of regional monetary integration, and we of course look forward to working very closely with him. Fellow governors distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. As the outgoing chairman, this moment is both reflective and forward-looking, marking not only the end of my tenure, but also the continued progress we must strive for in our collective mission of regional economic integration and development. The global economy has continued to grapple with heightened inflationary pressures, geographical tensions, and supply chain disruptions, and attendant consequences on all our economies. The ECOWAS region has also faced significant macroeconomic headwinds, including exchange rate volatility, inflationary pressures, and fiscal constraints, which have posed challenges to our economic integration efforts. Both fiscal and monetary authorities in Nigeria, like many of its regional counterparts, has had to implement bold policy measures to mitigate these challenges. In the past year, CBN has taken decisive steps to stabilize the exchange rate by fostering a more transparent and efficient foreign exchange market. The Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, implemented a unified exchange rate system, replacing multiple exchange rates that led to distortions and inefficiencies to enhance transparency and efficiency in the foreign exchange market. The bank also embarked on a series of diaspora remittance drives, and these recorded over 79% increase in remittances through INGOs in the first quarter of 2024, as we recorded inflows of US dollars 14.18 billion compared to 2.33 billion during the corresponding period of 2023. Additionally, external reserves have risen from 34.7 billion in June 2024 to over $40 billion in December 2024, driven by capital inflows. Other key reforms, which include improving liquidity through market-driven interventions and enhancing monetary policy coordination, have yielded positive results in reducing volatility and boosting investor confidence. CBN also restructured the currency exchange system to ensure that foreign exchange reserves were used more efficiently, particularly for essential imports. As a result of the reforms, the stability achieved in the foreign exchange market has led to improved liquidity and a better alignment of exchange rates across various markets. The gap between the official and the BDC rates has narrowed significantly, reflecting improved price discovery, greater market efficiency, and fewer arbitrage opportunities. On inflation, our monetary tightening measures by a total of 875 basis points, 6 times in 2024, have helped contain rising inflation and engender macroeconomic stability. Although headline inflation remains elevated, the marginal increase recorded in December of 2024, attributed to the tightening, is an indication that inflation may begin to trend downward in the near to medium term. Thus, by leveraging appropriate policy instruments, enhancing coordination with fiscal authorities, and strengthening financial stability, we have made considerable progress in curbing inflationary pressures and ensuring sustainable economic growth as the economy grew from 3.19% in second quarter of 2024 to 3.46% in third quarter 2024. Nigeria's external sector remains resilient, with the balance of payments recording a surplus of 6.287 billion, or 16.03% of GDP for third quarter 2024. This surplus is attributed to gains in the goods account and current transfers, including remittances and grants. If this trend continues, it is expected to have a positive impact on the exchange rate. As chair of this esteemed committee, a key priority for me was to reposition WAMA to be a more efficient institution that can effectively drive the ECOWAS Monetary Cooperation Program. Hence, we observed some gaps in WAMA's administrative procedures and prune them to introduce operational efficiency. A significant milestone achieved during my tenure was the successful recruitment of the new Director General of WAMA. The selection process was anchored on merit, transparency, and competence to ensure that WAMA is led by an individual with the requisite expertise and vision to drive our regional monetary integration agenda forward. I am confident that the newly appointed DG will consolidate past achievements and further strengthen WAMA's role in promoting monetary stability and integration in ECOWAS. Another thorny issue from the statutory meetings held in Dakar in 2024 was the recommendations from the WAMA Audit Committee concerning the second official residence in Freetown. I have held discussions with my dear brother and host, the Governor of the Bank of Sierra Leone, on the future of the property, whether to sell or to rent it out to avoid extra budgetary burdens on members. Thus, the Governor of the Bank of Sierra Leone is consulting with his team before providing a definitive response. I am, however, optimistic that with our collective commitment, we will finalize this matter promptly. As the chair of the COG, I also made the publication of the ECOWAS Regional Economic Outlook a priority. In this regard, I sought to engage the ECOWAS President to discuss our willingness to collaborate on its prompt publication to boost transparency and gain investors' confidence in the economics of the sub-region. I recognize that true progress can only be achieved when all stakeholders collaborate towards shared economic growth and sustainable development. I pray that the incoming governor will continue this path, and I am willing to provide any support required. Honorable governors, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I must also mention the impending withdrawal of Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso from ECOWAS. This carries significant political, economic, and security implications for our region. It also has the potential to dampen our collective efforts towards regional integration, introducing uncertainties in cross-border trade payment systems integration and monetary policy coordination. Hence, it is crucial that we carefully evaluate their impact on our broader vision for regional integration. Despite these hurdles, I remain optimistic that peace, stability, and the eventual re-engagement of these nations with ECOWAS will be possible. Our mission remains unchanged: to build a stable, integrated region that benefits all ECOWAS citizens. I wish to also acknowledge the tireless efforts of the chair of the technical committee and his team in preparing the relevant documents and recommendations for our meeting. I would like to highlight some critical areas that will shape our discussions today for direction on the way forward. Over the years, the Committee of Governors has made progress on several key fronts, notably the successful conclusion on the determination of the capital subscription for the prospective Central Bank of West Africa, pooling of reserves, and establishment of ECOWAS Solidarity and Stabilization Fund, amongst others. Worthy of note is also the ongoing discussion on the member states to host the future Central Bank of West Africa, and I am confident that we will soon arrive at a consensus. We must acknowledge the challenges that lie ahead, even as we recognize these accomplishments. There is an urgent need to intensify efforts to promote intra-ECOWAS trade flows, as this remains a key driver of economic growth and integration. By reducing barriers to trade, we can foster stronger economic linkages and greater opportunities for businesses and citizens alike. Equally important is the development of effective communication strategies to sensitize the population across the community. In addition, we must strategize to take advantage of the African Continental Free Trade Area, which is the low-hanging fruit to propel economic growth in the sub-region. A key pillar of our regional integration efforts is the development of a seamless payment and settlement system with the ECOWAS Payment and Settlement System, EPSS, and the Pan-African Payment and Settlement System, PAPS, playing a vital role in facilitating cross-border transactions and boosting inter-regional trade. It is critical that we create a unified financial architecture that supports monetary integration and economic growth across the region. Honorable governors, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, as I hand over the leadership of the committee to the next governor, I would like to express my profound gratitude to all member central banks for their unwavering support and commitment. I am certain that under the next chairman's leadership, the committee will build upon our achievements and drive us nearer to a fully integrated economic region. Your dedication remains invaluable and truly appreciated. Let me conclude by challenging us to take this opportunity to push forward and ensure that our deliberations today yield actionable outcomes that will advance our region's progress. Thank you, and I wish us all successful deliberations.
I think Governor Leone deserves another round of applause. Thank you very much, Governor, for that very, very comprehensive statement. I'm sure some people while listening must have forgotten the earlier parts of your statement. So I'll try to summarize briefly what Governor Cardoso told us this morning. Like the other governors, Governor Cardoso appreciated the hospitality of the Salvadoran people, and he moved on to remind us again that geopolitical tensions we have, supply chain disruptions, and same geo-economic fragmentation is posing problems. He reminded us also about the challenges in ECOWAS countries, which includes exchange rate volatility, high fiscal deficits, inflationary pressures, and these are issues that we should try to resolve. In Nigeria, the governor assured us that they'll be implementing bold reforms. Key among them is efforts to stabilize the exchange rate to handle the problems of the exchange rate in Nigeria by introducing a unified exchange rate policy. They also encourage diaspora remittances and they try to put into use foreign reserves to where we should go. Foreign reserves increased about 40 billion, we shall get 1% of that. Also, the structure the forex system for essential imports. There is now a better alignment of the exchange rates in Nigeria. The prime market premium is very, very narrow now as it is. Inflation has been a challenge in Nigeria, we all know, but monetary policy of the Central Bank of Nigeria has been consistently tight, and therefore they are now seeing signs of declining inflation. Rising inflation in December was very minimal, giving them hope that inflation will very soon turn the corner and move downwards. Emphasize continued coordination of fiscal and monetary policies, which are said to do that. The Nigerian economy is growing at 3.1%. We have achieved a balance of payment surplus. That's a very great achievement. To achieve balance of payment surplus in a big economy like Nigeria, a team of 16% of GDP. That's no mean achievement. And this is expected to impact foreign exchange as we move forward. He told us that his priority when he was chairman was to ensure that a new DG for WAMA is recruited. He's very confident that the new DG was recruited in a very transparent and fair manner, and he has confidence in the ability to steer the ship of WAMA. He's however very concerned about the updated structure of DG's residency in Freetown. Something which I think of Stevens trying to resolve soon. Among his other priorities was that he spearheaded the introduction of the ECOWAS regional outlook. As you know, as economists, most times we depend on the World Economic Outlook, regional economic outlook for sub-Saharan Africa, African economic outlook produced by the African Development Bank. Now we should very soon start relying on the ECOWAS economic outlook. He's very much concerned about the withdrawal of Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger from ECOWAS. According to him, the implications of security and the monetary integration process are far reaching. We should therefore try to look at those issues. Critical areas he wants us to focus and for which progress has been made is capital subscription for the new central bank, the pooling of reserves, solidarity fund that has been established, and ongoing discussions to host the Central Bank of West Africa, perhaps in March as to be. The It's also very much concerned about trade between the sub-region, emphasizing the reduction in trade barriers, improving communication strategies, and we should take advantage of the African continental function. There's very big power and other achievements in the area of payment systems, which will surely facilitate trade in this vision. I think those are very important remarks made by the government. And also, I want us to give another round of applause to them. Thank you very much. Our next speaker is the chairman of the Committee of Governors for YFM, and that's Governor of the Central Bank of Gambia, Dr. Abdullah Sire Jan, First Deputy Governor.
Distinguished Governors of Central Banks, ECOWAS Commission Representative, Deputy Governors of Central Banks, Director Generals of WAMA, YFM, and Acting Director General of WAMA, delegates, ladies and gentlemen. Let me start by extending the regrets of Governor Bouassedi, who could not attend this meeting and have delegated me to attend on his behalf. Hence, I am delivering his statement on his behalf. And I quote, "It is both an honor and privilege to stand before this distinguished assembly as we convene the 48th Board of Governors meeting of YFM and the statutory meetings of the West African Monetary Zone. Let me begin by expressing our profound gratitude to the government and people of Sierra Leone for their exceptional hospitality extended to us. In particular, I extend my sincere appreciation to Honorable Dr. Ibrahim Stevens, Governor of the Bank of Sierra Leone, and his dedicated team for their outstanding logistical arrangements and warm hospitality since the arrival of my mission. The historic city of Freetown, a symbol of resilience and freedom, provides an inspiring backdrop for our discussions as we work towards a more prosperous, stable, and integrated West Africa. I am especially delighted to extend a warm welcome to Mr. Henry F. Samoy, Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, as he joins us for his first YFM board meeting. Governor Samoy, we look forward to your insights and contributions to our collective mission. To our partners from ECOWAS, esteemed central bankers, distinguished professionals from the Ministry of Finance and Economic Planning, and our development partners, your presence underscores our shared commitment to regional collaboration, economic transformation, and capacity building. Let us acknowledge too the unsung heroes behind our regional progress, dedicated staff of the regional institutions of YFM, WAMA, and WANI, whose hard work and commitment drive the success of our institutions. Mr. Chairman, I am pleased to report that the Gambian economy demonstrated resilient growth in 2024, despite prevailing global uncertainties. This recovery has been fueled by increased agricultural production and productivity, a rebound in tourism, and sustained public and private sector investments in infrastructure. Additionally, tight monetary policy by the Central Bank of the Gambia has contributed to sustain disinflation, reinforcing macroeconomic stability. Strong remittance inflows and strategic investments have further bolstered economic momentum, while exchange stability has nearly eliminated the gap between official and parallel exchange rates. As a result, GDP is projected at 5.8% in 2024, up from 4.8% in 2023. Yet, despite these positive developments, a closer look across West Africa reveals a stark paradox. While medium-term growth is projected to rebound above 4%, formidable challenges persist. Firstly, conflict and instability continue to erode institutional foundations. Inflation is straining household incomes and purchasing power in this region. Rising debt burdens are constraining fiscal flexibility, while climate shocks are disrupting agriculture and livelihoods. these structural challenges are compounded by a crisis of opportunity. Our region's greatest asset, its young population, faces unemployment and growing frustration. Without urgent action, this disillusionment is becoming a tinderbox instantly. However, our strength must not be overlooked. The rise of intra-regional trade initiatives, digital innovation, a dynamic private sector signals untapped potential that, if properly harnessed, would transform our economies. Thus, the question before us is not whether we can grow, but whether we can grow differently, in a way that is inclusive, sustainable, and resilient. This brings me to YFM's core mandate, capacity building as our strongest defense against uncertainty. Since its inception, YFM has trained 27,898 professionals, a testament to its role as West Africa's premier incubator of expertise and leadership. Yet statistics alone do not tell the full story. Through YFM, we have empowered policymakers to navigate complex macroeconomic landscapes, transform uncertainty into strategic actions. It developed a new generation of experts equipped to craft fiscally responsible policies and ensure long-term debt sustainability. We modernize financial infrastructure, enhancing payment systems and governance frameworks to drive transparency, efficiency, and accountability. To blend institutional reforms that enforce economic stability, strengthen investor confidence, and embed resilience at the core of our economies. We have also improved financial governance through risk-informed policies, laying the foundation for sustainable and inclusive growth. Mr. Chairman, to further elevate YFM's impact, we must look forward and prioritize three key areas. Firstly, technology-driven learning. Expanding hybrid programs to democratic access to world-class knowledge and expertise is the first priority. Secondly, addressing next generation challenges. This means integrating emerging topics into our curriculum, including cybersecurity, regulatory compliance, AI ethics, and green finance. And thirdly, leadership for transformation. Cultivating not just technical expertise, but visionary leadership capable of driving systemic reforms in the region. Finally, our esteemed partners, the IMF, World Bank, Commonwealth Secretariat, African Development Bank, the African Development Support Facility, we affirm our commitment to collaboration. Your expertise and technical support amplify our impact. Your trust fuels our ambition. I encourage you to maintain this spirit of cooperation as we strive for excellence in our shared mission. Together, let us chart the course towards a stronger Montreal. In closing, let me draw upon the wisdom of Sierra Leone testing historian, Dr. Arthur Porter. And by the way, this was not me. I tell you I'm a quarterback, so I came from Sierra Leone, but I'm learning it for the first time. So there are also people more educated on Sierra Leone than I am, than I brag about in the Gambia. Dr. Porter reminds us that unity is not uniformity. It is the harmony of purpose amid diversity. Yes, the challenges before us are formidable, but so too is our result. Let us be fragile not only merely with resolutions, but with bold and transformative commitments to ensure that every training program becomes a catalyst for homegrown solutions, empowering our institutions and people. To elevate YFM into a formidable force, a true global beacon of South-South knowledge exchange and capacity building. To foster deeper collaboration, innovation, and resilience in the face of an evolving global landscape. The road ahead is steep, but together we can ascend. Lastly, I extend my sincere gratitude to Dr. Baba Musa and the entire YFM team for their unwavering dedication and exceptional leadership. Your hard work and commitment have driven remarkable progress. Great is the moment of continue. Once again, I express my heartfelt appreciation to the government and the Sierra Leone for the gracious that and welcome. Thank you for your attention. I appreciate you all.
Thank you very much, Dr. Jalo, for remarks. Today I will move on straight to the issue about the Gambian economy that is recovering and hope to continue to grow driven by tourism, expansion in other sectors. However, mentioned key formidable challenges in West Africa, particularly conflict and instability, high inflation, debt burdens, issue of climate, and youth unemployment. But however, prospects, established strategies, regional trade, financial integration, and more importantly, capacity building. That's really very important. Capacity building has improved capacity building programs delivered by RIFE has improved economic policy formulation, analysis, monitoring, and coordination in the sub-region. I'm very proud alumnus of RIFE, so I know what I'm talking about. He emphasized 3 key new areas: hybrid learning, next generation issues that emerging issues like artificial intelligence, cyber security, and green finance. These are very important here. But more importantly, visionary leadership. YFM has strong leaders. So we also encourage Dr. Baba Musa to continue. Thank you very much. Before I go on the next speaker, I just want to recognize the presence of very distinguished personalities among us. Even though they are not on the high table, but they are equally important and deserve recognition. We have with us here is the new governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Mr. Henry F. Samoy. We also have with me Dr. Musa Dukure, who is the Deputy Governor, I think, in charge of economic policy. Dr. Dukure is a Sierra for those of you who I also want to recognize the presence of, I should say, the key lieutenants of Governor Olaimi Kadosu, that is Deputy Governor Mohammed Sani Abdullahi. Our Ghanaian governor could not be with us. We all know what's happening in Ghana at the moment. They are through some, going through transition. But we have in our midst Dr. O.C. Iwa, representing the governor of the Bank of Ghana. Yes, once again, when the chairman of the committee of one we spoke, most of you did not know his name. Our Deputy Governor of Central Bank of Guinea, who is chairman of the WAM's Committee of Governors, is Mr. Mohammed Hamid, Dr. Mohammed Hamid. So now, all of this is happening because we have one central organization that is coordinating all these affairs. But most of these institutions are the children of that particular institution. And there's no institution that is the ECOWAS Commission. Very proud of it. We visit other countries in the sub-region, with the experience of the efforts that we have done in West Africa. It's surprising to learn that ECOWAS has done a very good job. It's only in West Africa that you can move around without visa. You cannot do that in South Africa. In South Africa, they have a payment system. They can move funds across boundaries, but you cannot move from one country to another without a visa. And the 15 member states of ECOWAS, we move around without visas. Also, that's a very great achievement. We also have to recognize the Deputy Governor of BCIO, that's the Central Bank of the UNOA countries, the French countries. Welcome, Mr. Governor. So in that regard, our next speaker is no less a person than the Commissioner for Economic Affairs and Agriculture in the ECOWAS Commission. Welcome.
Merci beaucoup, Monsieur le Modérateur. Distinguished governors of central banks, Director General of the West African Monetary Agency, Director General of the West African Monetary Institute, Director General of the West African Institute of Financial and Economic Management, permanent representative to the Republic of Sierra Leone, representatives of regional and international institutions, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen. It is an honor and a privilege to address all delegations to this 65th statutory meeting of the Committee of Governors, which is taking place today in this beautiful and historic city of Freetown. Permit me to take this opportunity to express my appreciation to His Excellency Dr. Julius Maada Bio, the President of the Republic of Sierra Leone, and the good people of the Sierra Leone for the hospitality and the excellent facilities placed at the disposal of my delegation and all the delegations present here in Freetown. Equally, my appreciation goes to the Honorable Governor of the Bank of Sierra Leone, Dr. Ibrahim Stevens, for the outstanding organization of the meetings of the Wama, Wami, and YFM. Distinguished governors, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to express my profound thanks and appreciation to the governors for their continued commitment to the ECOWAS Monetary Cooperation Program and their sustained support to the efficient operations of the regional monetary institutions. I would like also to take this opportunity to congratulate Mr. Bioma Kamara on his appointment as the new Director General of WAMA. Monsieur le Directeur General, I wish you every success in steering the affairs of WAMA higher and further. In this mission, you will need all the support, and I would like to assure you that the ECOWAS Commission will always accompany you while ensuring that the objectives pursued are within the framework of achieving the regional integration agenda. Distinguished guests, as you know, the integration process is a long-term endeavor that requires understanding and managing diversities, as well as building bridges across varied interests. Therefore, mutual respect, cooperation, and collaboration among all stakeholders are fundamental to achieving consensus and progress. The ECOWAS Commission will spare no effort in ensuring that regional integration becomes a reality. Ladies and gentlemen, regarding economic performance, our region, and indeed the globe, have been facing a series of crises since the end of 2019, which negatively impacted the economic and financial performance of our member states. The ECOWAS performance on some convergence criteria such as budget deficit, inflation, public debt, and external reserve seriously deteriorated. However, it is encouraging to note that the region has built resilience and is gradually picking up. According to our preliminary data, the region growth would be 4.2% in 2025 against 3.8% in 2024. Inflationary pressures are expected to slow in 2025 to an average of 17.6% against an average of 23.3% in 2024. The budget deficit would be 3.9% in 2025 against 4.6% in 2024. Public debt as a percentage of general GDP is expected to remain a concern in our region. On the monetary union activities, the Commission has continued to coordinate efforts toward deepening regional economic integration. In this regard, the ECOWAS Commission has taken the necessary steps to work and collaborate with all regional institutions within the framework of the multilateral surveillance mechanism by extending the Joint Secretariat to all institutions involved in the implementation of the ECOWAS Military Cooperation Program. Equally, the membership of the High-Level Committee to the Practical Arrangement for the launch of the ECO was extended to all regional military institutions. In addition, the Commission has consulted with WAMA and agreed on modalities for joint statutory meetings and a joint macroeconomic convergence report. The holding of the joint statutory meetings of the ECOWAS Commission and WAMA is a welcome development. The Commission will do everything possible to facilitate such initiatives, and as it will reduce duplication of effort and save costs. However, we must ensure that the decisions taken do not contradict existing ECOWAS provisions and protocols. Distinguished guests, I am pleased to inform you that the High-Level Committee has made tremendous achievements which were adopted by the ECOWAS Authority of Heads of States and Governments in Abuja in December 2024. These include the practical arrangement for selecting candidate countries for monetary union, the draft supplementary act on the modalities of participation of member states in the ECOWAS monetary union and low cost, sources and modalities of financing the implementation of reforms and institutions necessary for the launch of the ECO. Honorable governors, to move forward, you have the responsibility of giving instruction and guidance to the technical committee and to take the necessary decision to be adopted by the competent ECOWAS authorities to fast-track the launch of the single currency. Honorable governors, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to conclude my remarks by reiterating on the end of the ECOWAS authority my personal commitment as Commissioner in charge of Economic Affairs and Agriculture to ensure that the synergy continues to exist amongst our institutions for the successful implementation of our regional integration projects, which provides the pathway to building together strong and resilient economies in an environment of peace and prosperity as envisaged by the founding fathers of our community. Je voudrais aussi vous informer que la première édition du ECOWAS Regional Economic Outlook est maintenant disponible. La CEDEAO est prête à collaborer avec les institutions désireuses de contribuer à l'élaboration des éditions futures, et cela en toute transparence et pour le bien de notre région. Je voudrais aussi nous réjouir des efforts accomplis par les différentes banques centrales, efforts de politique économique et monétaire qui devraient nous permettre de regarder avec optimisme l'avenir vers la création de la monnaie unique, puissant vecteur d'intégration économique de notre sous-région. C'est sur ces mots que je voudrais vous remercier de votre aimable attention. Honorable governors, I wish you all fruitful deliberation and thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you very much, Commissioner for Economic Affairs of the Commission, ECOWAS Commission. This is my subject to really listen. Thank you very much. Well, we all know the significance of ECOWAS in that process, but Madam reminded us again that integration is a long process, and therefore it takes time. And we also highlighted regional economic challenges, same issues of macroeconomic instability, high inflation, slowing growth, high budget deficits. But the situation is improving as inflation is trending downwards and budget deficits are narrowing. However, public debts remain a concern. She highlighted all the role ECOWAS is playing in ensuring that all regional and monetary agencies work together. So regional and social surveillance system is being extended to all monetary agencies in the sub-region. High-level committee for the practical and implementation of the monetary union is also extended to all, and of course, joint statutory meetings and joint convergence reports will soon be the order of the day for these institutions in order to reduce duplication of efforts and reduce costs, something which the technical committee are warmly governors. To conclude, she has shown her commitment to ensure that all these institutions work together. Thank you very much, Madam Chukwuemisi, Commissioner for Economic Affairs and Commissioner for Affairs. Now we move on to the people that are actually doing the day-to-day preparations for the launch of the monetary institution program. I'll start by calling the Acting Director General of PAM, Mr. John Chukwu, to give us.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Committee of Governors of the Central Bank of the Banks, Honorable Governors of the Central Banks of the Member States of the banks, representative of the President of the ECOWAS Commission, Director General Wama, Director General Wilson, representative of partner organizations, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. Mr. Chairman, Honorable Governors and distinguished delegates and guests, it is an honor and privilege for me to welcome you all to the 50th meeting of the Committee of Governors of the Central Banks of the Banks Member States. Mr. Chairman, permit me to congratulate and sincerely thank the Salomonian authorities for the hosting of the NBA 2024 One Statutory meetings and for the warm hospitalities extended to all of us since our arrival in Freetown. This meeting of the Committee of Governors presents us with the opportunity to take stock of the progress made in the past 6 months relating to the implementation of the new roadmap for the ECOWAS single currency as well as the ECOWAS macro convergence and stability pact. Mr. Chairman, let me congratulate the good people of Ghana for the peaceful presidential and parliamentary elections held in December 2024. And I hereby congratulate His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, the President of the Republic of Ghana, and the Minister for Finance, Honorable Dr. Professor Fossen, Minister for Finance, and wish them successful tenure. In a similar vein, I am pleased to congratulate Dr. Johnson Pandit Isiama for his appointment as the Governor of the Central Bank. I wish him a successful tenure as well. Mr. Chairman, Honorable Governors, let me congratulate the Executive Governor, Honorable Henry F. Samuel, and the Deputy Governor, Honorable James B. Wilfred, both of the Central Bank of Liberia, on their confirmation, of their appointments. I wish them successful tenure of office as well. Honorable Governors, let me also congratulate Mr. Olema S. Kamara on his appointment as the Director General of the Research and Military Agency. Mr. Chair, Honorable Governors, you may recall that the contract of the appointment of Dr. Olo Sola Emmanuel over office of former Director General and on secondment from Central Bank of Nigeria to WAMI ended on February 2nd, 2025. After serving for 4 years, the management and staff of WAMI applauds his significant contributions to the monetary integration agenda of the banks and wish him success in his future endeavors. The Chairman permit me to now touch briefly on temporary issues in the first and the global context. Honorable Governors, global output growth remains steady in 2024, shaped by some recoveries in major economies, influenced by a combination of factors such as geopolitical tension and supply chain disruptions and tight financing conditions. Global growth is expected to firm in 2025 due to rapid technological advancement, especially in the fields of artificial intelligence, accommodating monetary policy adjustments to improve supply chains and labor market resilience. Global inflation also declined in 2024, but remained elevated. Financing conditions were tight in 2024, however, with decline in inflation, some central banks in the advanced economies have set off on the easing cycle. Global trade also has improved due to easing inflationary pressures, stability in global output growth, flourishing technological advancement, and rebalancing of global supply chains. Honorable Governors, the global economy is affected by multiple and complex shocks, and which occasions the deployment of enhanced and synchronized international cooperation to mitigate these risks. The risk outlook is underpinned by energy and food supply crisis, geo-economic fragmentation, as well as climate change challenges. Now, touching briefly on the WAMS, Mr. Chair, Honorable Governors, output growth in the WAMS has increased during the review period due to pick-up in agriculture and industrial sector activities in most member states. However, countries continue to face macro vulnerabilities triggered by heightened inflationary pressures, high debt burden, foreign exchange market volatility, tight financing conditions, and favorable current account positions and security challenges. These challenges have been exacerbated by the geopolitical tension, trade disputes, and heightened uncertainty in the global context, leading to rising energy prices. A synergy action must be taken to tackle these imbalances, which are undermining economic recovery within the WAMS, as well as efforts to build resilience against future shocks. Now, a brief update on the WAMS program, Mr. Chairman, Honorable Governors. I would like to present some updates on the implementation of the WAMS program since the last statutory meeting of the Committee of Governors in the statements. Now, first, the status of macro convergence at end 2024. The assessment of macroeconomic convergence performance points to an improvement in macro convergence in the WAMS as of end 2024. However, none of the WAMS member states met all the four primary convergence criteria. The zone's performance score on the primary convergence improved, almost doubled from the June 2023 position to 45.8% from 25. On trade, Mr. Chairman, Honorable Governors, intra-WAMS trade has been on a downward trend in recent years. However, it is projected to improve, driven by expansion of the guided trade initiative under the African Continental Free Trade Area and increased adoption of the Pan-African Payments and Settlement System, PASS. The WAMS member states have continued to demonstrate commitment towards compliance with regional trade and trade-related protocols. In this regard, some of the member states of the WAMS have signed up to the ECOWAS interconnected system for management of goods in transit, for improved coordination among the custom administrators and enhanced transit trade facilitation, while others are making progress towards deployment and eventual operationalization of the same platform. Also, Mr. Chair, the scope of implementation of the pilot phase of the guided African Continental Free Trade Initiative has been broadened in terms of qualified countries and approved products. On an additional 24 African countries, including Nigeria and Sierra Leone, have been included in the GTI and have started preferential trade under AFTA. In the area of policy research, with the Chair of Honorable Governors, the Institute has prepared 2 policy papers that have been presented to the TC. The first titled, The Impact of Climate Change on the Real Sector in the WAMS, and then the second titled, The Multidimensional Effects of Infrastructure Development on Trade Integration, Regional Trade in the WAMS. The objective of these papers are to examine the impact of different types of infrastructure development on intra-WAMS trade flows, and to estimate the effect of climate change on inflation and GDP per capita. Now, on financial sector development, Mr. Chair. The banking sector of the world continues to be safe, sound, and stable amidst myriads of challenges to the economic recovery in the region. The College of Supervisors of WAMS, College of Non-Bank Financial Institutions, and College of Insurance Supervisors of the WAMS continue to perform effectively. Now, on the West African capital markets, Mr. Chairman, Honorable Governor, significant progress has been made in the implementation of the project, including the harmonization of capital market rules, capacity building, and the development of the WACMI data portal and website. Additionally, the Institute has completed needs assessment studies on the state of equity capital market in the Gambia, Guinea, Liberia, and Sierra Leone, as well as the design of an implementation roadmap for the integration of these markets into the WACMI project. Now on domestic debt market development, Mr. Chairman, WAMI has achieved significant milestones in terms of project implementation within the review period. African Development Bank has extended the contract expiration of the project by 1 year from 2023, December 2023 to December 2024. The focus of the projects include upgrade of IT infrastructure, strengthening debt markets, and the recruitment of external auditors for the project. Unique Bank, the UBI project, the Unique Bank Identity and Digital Interoperability project. Mr. Chair, Honorable Governors, the project has 3 components which will be implemented over a period of 4 years. The first component is the development of harmonized customer identification framework for the financial sector in the WAMS. Component 2 concerns the implementation of the interoperable unique bank identity in member states of while component 3 is related to project management and capacity building. The project was officially launched on June 26, 2024 in Conakry, Guinea. Now on FinTech regulatory sandbox. In response to the growing needs for regulatory frameworks that supports digital innovation in finance, WAMI partnered with MTech Solution to establish a digital regulatory sandbox for 4 WAMS member states, central banks, the Gambia, Guinea, Liberia, Sierra Leone. The funding for the project was provided by the ASHRAF Association between 2023 and 2024. WAMI and MTech conducted pilot initiation workshops in each of these member states, introducing the central bank teams to the sandbox features and functionality and tailoring implementation strategies to each country's specific regulatory needs. These workshops marked the beginning of a critical phase for the sandbox deployment, with the objective of equipping bank staff and practical insight into sandbox operations, compliance, tracking, and risk management. The implementation of the Digital Regulatory Sandbox Initiative is progressing steadily across all the beneficiary central banks. The implementation of the project is at an advanced stage in the Central Bank of Liberia. The workflow design has been completed. The sandbox committee and its accompanying terms of trade has been established, and the Central Bank of Liberia Sandbox user guide has also been designed. Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, WAMI received approval in principle from the African Development Bank for funding under the AFD, African Digital Financial Inclusion 2023 agenda, called for proposal to implement a regional regulatory sandbox in the WAMS. In December 2024, Mr. Chair, African Development Bank notified WAMI that the proposal had advanced to the next stage of evaluation for further discussion and prioritization. The final evaluation process is currently underway, and upon approval, the project will be implemented across all WAMS member states. Mr. Chairman, now briefly on payment system development in the WAMS. The primary objective of the payment systems the government wants is to eliminate as far as possible risk from payments, clearing settlement systems. In this regard, risk from payment and clearing settlement system. In this regard, WAMI continues to monitor the implementation of the projects and transactions in member states to ensure full benefit in the zone. On the PAPs, which are the Bush, Mr. Chairman, Honorable Governors, as at end June 2024, 29 commercial banks have signed the PAPs membership agreement, increasing the network to 124 commercial banks. The PAPs network now includes a total of 9 switches across the country.